All right, welcome back to another episode of the Power Sports Memorabilia Show. I am your host, Matt Powers. Thank you again for joining me. Please visit the website, powersportsmemorabilia.com. Also, give me a follow over there on Instagram, at Powers Autographs. Well, there have been a lot of changes going on in the autograph industry lately. Today, we're going to talk about kind of why these are happening, kind of the future of the autograph industry, and what you and I can do to help preserve the industry and kind of counteract some of these changes, because it just seems like, oh my God, every day there's something new you can do and something new you can't do, and it's just all over the place. It's confusing for me, so I'm sure it's very confusing for you. But the industry, has been slowly changing lately from, a mom and pop style to kind of where you knew who all the autograph players were, to now it's kind of more of a corporate industry. And if you know anything about me, I'm not much of a corporate guy. Okay, I can't remember the last time I wore a suit and tie. So if I have to wear a suit and tie at Power Sports Memorabilia, that would be the death of me. So we will not be doing that here. We're definitely anti-corporate around here. But it's really accelerated in the past couple years. You got tens of millions of dollars flowing into the industry with new investors, new companies being started, the bigger companies getting bigger, smaller companies going out of business. And how this all pertains to the autograph industry is I'm just kind of getting the feeling that the hardcore collector to a certain degree is kind of being pushed aside and not really disrespected, but it just kind of feels that way. I don't know about you guys. You guys let me know in the comments if you feel like the collector is kind of getting pushed aside in this kind of new autograph industry. And the collector is what made the autograph industry. And I really feel for you guys out there trying to get your stuff signed, and you're having limitations on what you can get signed. It's frustrating. I get it. Believe me, I'm on your side. So, today we're going to specifically talk about some of those things and kind of how we can kind of alleviate that. But we've all seen these changes lately. Okay, I've talked about them on this show, on Instagram. You've seen them probably in my emails. Okay, no tickets, no trading cards. You can't get this inscription, blah, blah, blah. What is going on with that? Well, promoters have exclusives with certain athletes, and they also have retail operations. So I've talked about this on the show. I'll get to this in a little bit here longer in this episode. But they don't want to compete with you on trying to sell the one thing that their exclusive guy is known for. For example, if they've got a famous rookie card or a famous ticket, listen, they don't want to compete with you. They want to corner the market on that because they know that that's where all the profit is going to be, and they can set the pricing themselves. Autograph pricing has gone up. We've talked about that too on this show. Oh man, I remember, if you guys ever see those throwback posters or advertisements where Mickey Mantle was signing for like $25. I mean, just incredible pricing. We're never going to see that again. Guys make too much money now. It's hard to convince a guy to come sign for $10, $25 an autograph when he's making millions and millions of dollars on the field. Okay, it's just not worth their time. I did an Instagram poll recently about kind of the challenges of the autograph industry, and almost 50% of people said that the main concern for them was the actual pricing of the athletes' autographs. And another thing too I pulled on there is, and we're going to talk about here, is athletes' autographs have just become worse and worse over the years. It's really bad now. So it's something we all know. Penmanship is not being taught anymore, it seems like. And there's something that can be specifically done, I'm going to get to here in just a little bit, on what us promoters can actually do to help fix that. And I think it's a pretty easy solution on that one. But these are some of the main issues that the autograph industry is really, really facing right now. So let's talk about more about these in depth and kind of what you and I can do to help kind of fix and kind of combat some of them. All right. All right, number one, the industry is moving from kind of like the mom and pop kind of stores and kind of dealers more to a corporate business. So this is, people say this all the time, it's a hobby, it's a hobby. It's no longer a hobby, people, all right? Listen, the definition of a hobby is an activity done regularly at one's leisure time for pleasure. Does any of that define the industry right now? I don't think so. I mean, yes, there are some people who do it as a hobby on the side, but I'm talking about the people that actually run most of these autograph signings now and these shows, it's not a hobby anymore, okay? It's a 100% a business, and no one successful in the memorabilia business right now is treating it as a hobby. It's no longer a hobby, all right? I'm sorry to say that, but it's just the way it is right now. But we all used to know a guy when the autograph industry would start, or many of us who were into trading cards too when we were younger, we all knew a guy who kind of did this on the side, and then he would have maybe like a store that he opened up maybe just on the weekends or something like that. He was open for like 8 hours on the weekends total. We all knew a guy like that, or a guy that would come to all the shows and that was his only storefront, was at these shows. And it's just the days of having the guy that just had a little storefront there at the, for a couple hours on the weekends. I mean, those days are long gone. I mean, big corporations have come in and essentially, just taken over this industry right now. And the model has kind of switched, in my opinion, from, hey, how can we serve the collector, to how can we sell the most amount of products with the largest profit margins. Now, I'm not agreeing or disagreeing with the business model in itself here, but it doesn't really serve you, the collector, well. Okay, now, why? Well, there are way more casual fans out there than there are hardcore autograph collectors. Okay, it's just the bottom line, all right? Look at it this way. If you're like a big gearhead, right? Let's say you really love cars. Ford isn't necessarily marketing collectors cars to you, right? They want to sell the most amount of pickup trucks, right? So that's where they focus on. That's how they stay in business. Now, while they all love, of course, selling classic Ford cars, right? It's just not really the focus of the industry for them. Okay, they've got to sell a massive amount of cars in order to stay in business, all right? So I'm kind of getting the feeling, and again, you guys comment below, let me know if you're getting this feeling too, that the collector is kind of slowly being pushed aside and being filled with kind of a more casual fan, the gift giver, maybe the corporate giver, all right? So someone who can buy more products and move that needle more than essentially a hardcore collector can. So how can we ensure that you, the collector, doesn't get forgotten about in this industry? Well, one of the main things you can do is continue to support autograph signing shows. This is a really, really big one. And I'm not really talking about the National. I think the National is going to be around for a long time. It's got big corporate sponsors and everybody knows about the National. It's the one that everybody wants to attend. Attendance has gone up, for the last couple years too, especially since after COVID. So it definitely is not going to be going anywhere. But what I want you to be doing is definitely supporting a lot of the smaller shows. There are some companies out there that put out some really good shows down in Texas and California, Florida. Nashville's got another good one there. So find out where these shows are and support these shows. And the reason why is there's a lot of dealers who come to these shows who are just like that guy we talked about in the beginning, who just do this on the weekend. Maybe they're a collector themselves and they have a booth that they set up at these events. And this is where they can buy, sell, and trade with other collectors, right? This is the best place to meet other collectors. And this is where you can find those kind of niche items to fill in your collection, or you can get that autograph from a guy who's doing a signing there who maybe doesn't do a signing all that often, right? And you're going to be supporting the promoters that are putting on these shows, because these shows aren't cheap to put on. I know that you guys, all you see is you go online, you get your autograph and you leave. But there's so much logistics behind the scenes. You got to get the contract secured. You got to secure the venue. You got to set up all the days and times and all that kind of stuff. You got to get the website updated. You got to buy tickets. You got to sell tickets. You got to do all this stuff. You got to bring in dealers. There's a lot that goes into a show. So definitely supporting those guys is a big thing, because it is a lot of time and money to put on those autograph shows. But this is where you guys are going to find, again, those dealers that are specifically focused on selling to the collectors. Maybe they've got that specific Patrick Mahomes item you're looking for. Definitely support these guys. They are doing a great job on these smaller shows. All right, number 2, and probably a big one that I've been dealing with lately, is there's just so many changes to the stuff that you can get signed at an autograph signing now. It's just absolutely incredible. I never could see trading cards and tickets being banned, not being allowed to get signed. I mean, We're on a track right now where the only thing you're going to be able to get signed is a mini helmet. Like, you can send in your mini helmet. You won't even be able to pick out the pen. You can't get an inscription on it. We certainly can't do photos because, we can't buy photos anymore. Photo file's gone. So it's just really challenging times for the collector right now, and seeing items that they want to get signed banned. I mean, this is America. Like, we're like book banning now. I mean, this isn't the former Soviet Union or China. I mean, just banning an item straight out that an athlete can't sign is just un-American in my eyes. Now, listen, if the athlete doesn't want to sign it because it's a photo of them that doesn't really show their glorious highlight, maybe they got in a fight with someone like that, I totally get that. Or if the item's got to be licensed because you've got deals with the the NFL, NBA, and whatnot, and you can't be selling unlicensed product, that makes total sense to me from a legal standpoint. I totally get those angles right there. But having a promoter just basically telling you that, hey, listen, you can't get this ticket signed, you can't get this card signed anymore, I'm just not a big fan of that, okay? Now, if it's something of value, take, for example, I don't know, a Larry Bird signing, right? Okay, and he's signing his 1980 Topps rookie card. Obviously, he puts his autograph on that. It becomes way more valuable. If the athlete wants to charge more for putting his autograph on a premium item like that because he knows when he puts his autograph on it that it's doubles, triples, 5 times up in value, that I'm totally fine with, okay? But actually banning an item though and not giving the collector the choice to get something signed is where I really kind of been running into a problem with this here. Now, and collectors get it. They totally get that if they add a athlete's autograph to a certain piece, it adds value to it. They get that. But what they are getting frustrated by is the not having the choice to get that item signed. Now, they can complain about the pricing. I get that. I see that all the time. But not having the option to be able to get their favorite card or their favorite ticket or whatever it is that they're looking to get signed in, that's where the collectors, I think, really have the biggest problem right now. And something that, again, I just don't agree with. I'd rather see it have it be actually tiered out to where you can say, hey, listen, here's your basic stuff here, but if you want to get a card signed, here's your pricing. If you want to get a ticket signed, here it is. And then get what? Let the collector choose what they want to get done. And it's actually kind of funny, the cards and like the tickets and whatnot, they used to be like the cheapest items to get signed. Like cards especially, they used to be like, you would have a flat item for an athlete would be like $50 and cards would be like $40. And then now it's just kind of, flip-flop, which is just absolutely crazy to think about. But so what can be done about it? That's kind of the big question here. All right, now listen, I have no control over any of these companies, whether they want to allow items to be sent in or not, okay? It's just the rules. They say, hey, listen, Matt, if you want to do this signing, here are the rules, and you've got to follow them, okay? Nothing I can do about it. What can you do about it? That's kind of the more important question here. And really, this is going to be like a simple answer, but allow me to explain here, is social media is just such a powerful tool. And if I were in your shoes as a collector and I wanted to get X amount of items signed for an athlete and I knew who had the exclusive for them and they were not allowing me to send in these items to get signed, the biggest thing that you can do is voice your concerns on social media, okay? Now, you got to do it in a professional and non-combative way, okay? Don't be a keyboard warrior, okay? And come with some logic. Say, hey, listen, I want to get these items signed. I'm trying to get these things finished for a collection. I've got to finish this piece out. Whatever it is, okay? These companies have rabbit ears, all right? Now, I don't know if you guys have ever heard the term rabbit ears, but playing baseball all the way through college, it was basically a pitcher who, if you talked a bunch of shit about, and he had these rabbit ears on him, and he was listening to everything you said and was messing up his game. That's what rabbit ears are, okay? These guys hear everything. These guys are on all the Facebook groups, they're on all the forums. Okay, these companies are listening and watching, okay? They hear everything you say. Okay, trust me, they are on these groups, 100%. So they are sensitive to a lot of these things when they hear something negative said about their athletes or something negative about the business or industry or whatever it is. So just know that they are watching in these groups. So if you post something on there, just make sure that, hey, listen, it's clear, it's legible, it makes sense, and voice your concerns, but do it in a professional way. Okay? Don't be a basher. or a keyboard warrior, they're not going to respond to that, but they will respond to logic and the pressure of a lot of people staying on them about, hey, listen, we don't like this policy. We want to see this policy changed. Here's why we like to see this thing changed. It may not fix it this year. It may not fix it next year, but it may push them towards a certain policy change that you may not see coming down the pipeline. For example, maybe some person new in power comes in and they've been seeing these forum posts and, hey, we're going to make these changes. Okay. So stay on them on the social media stuff, but again, do it in a professional way. All right. Number 3, the one that people are really concerned about, and I'm definitely concerned about, is the pricing for autographs has just, oh boy, it's just gone up a lot. And one of the main reasons why is companies are just starting to sign a lot of guys to exclusive athletes. And when they've got guys to exclusive athletes, they've got to try to recoup their costs and their investment as much as possible. So that's why you're seeing pricing going up. And hey, listen, if they've got the only signings they can do with a certain amount of guy, and this guy is popular, yes, they're going to push the envelope on that pricing. It's just natural. They can always bring it back down. They can always bring it back up. So they're going to push it as much as possible. You know what cracks me up? I don't know if you've noticed this too, but what cracks me up is a lot of these random categories that are all of a sudden created in this industry. I mean, this industry is not complicated. Like there's a price for like cheap items, and there's a price for expensive items, and there's a price for inscriptions. But now we've got like custom helmet is like a special pricing. It's like an extra $25 or $50 for them to sign a custom helmet now. You know, one of these custom helmets that you've either hydro dipped or you made yourself. But you know, it's $25 to $50 on top of the helmet pricing you've already paid for. So it's just them taking another $25 to $50 from you. The athlete doesn't charge anything more for these custom helmets. So it's just a nickel and dime way of getting more money out of you. So I don't agree with that. I mean, just keep it simple. You know, it's a whole, like the whole KISS statement. Keep it simple, stupid. The industry is just becoming way too complicated with this pricing. We've got to go back to just some basic pricing. And yes, a lot of it is sometimes is the athlete. The athlete has different price breaks and whatnot. You know, for like, I have a photo price and then I have a different photo price for a 16x20. Like, why? Why do you do that? Just keep it all one pricing so the customer can easily understand what you want. And again, I'm just not a fan of just nickel and diming the collector on every single thing. I mean, my gosh, this is not a car wash here. We don't need 15 different options here, all right? Let's keep it really, really simple. So what can you do to kind of combat the pricing? Well, this is a tough one here, because the main thing is just don't buy the guy, right? But if you're a collector and you need the guy for a certain piece of your part of your collection, then you're kind of, you know, in a pickle right there. And if 100 collectors stop buying a guy, I mean, is that really going to move the needle at all for them to reduce the price? Probably not. So it'd have to be, you know, really a lot of people stop buying someone. And if, you know, someone stops buying something and sales aren't going well, then obviously the price will come down. But again, voicing your opinion on social in a good professional way, again, is the easiest way to get the information out. Again, these companies are everywhere. They listen to these forums. They listen to these Facebook groups. They have eyes and ears everywhere. Trust me, they are listening to what you're saying. So get the word out if you are unhappy about something. But again, do it in a nice professional way. Don't be a douchebag. Look professional. Look like you've got some education in you, all right? Be nice and kind about it. But hopefully that will kind of move some of the change. But again, the pricing and these restrictions and stuff like that, it's only going to come down if you voice your opinion, but also if sales somehow slow down. You know, sales start slowing down on trading cards and tickets and whatnot. They got to pay these athletes, and we're going to need more items in. So, hey, listen, we're going to bring in more of these cards, bring in more of these tickets, maybe open it back up again. So that's really the best way to handle this pricing situation. And I'm with you guys. I think it's gotten just out of control on this pricing. I really don't know what the solution is outside of that. But I know that a lot of these athletes are getting paid big bucks to sign a lot of these autographs. So it is very expensive to bring a lot of these guys in. So hopefully you guys can understand that. And hopefully the industry as a whole can kind of come together and meet together on what a pricing point is really good for a certain athlete. All right, number 4, one that is kind of a fun topic and one that people just get pissed about. I get pissed about too, is just the athlete autograph quality is just it's going down more than Lake Mead's water level. I mean, it's just down, 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 down. Oh, the penmanship in this country is just, what are we teaching in the schools anymore? Are we even teaching cursive? Like, it's just, oh my God. Out of the 4 topics we talk about today, I think this one is probably one that us as promoters, or people that are actually handling the actual autograph signings and talking to the athletes, can actually fix, and then fix it actually pretty quickly here. So I'll get to that in just a second here. But I get it. An athlete's autographs are autographs. Doctors have bad autographs too, so it's not just limited to athletes. But some of this crap is just kind of like a big FU, right? It's just, and some people, if their initials are FU, that's what they're going to put, So promoters really, they don't want to push the envelope on these autographs because they want to be nice to the guy. They want the athlete to work with them, especially if it's someone that, they want to have a future with, or the agent that represents this athlete is one that they work with a lot of other athletes, so they don't want to rock the boat. So I totally get that. But a lot of these bad autographs is usually with the younger athletes. And remember, a lot of these younger athletes have never done an autograph signing, or they've done very, very few. So they need to be coached by the promoters on what's expected of them, because they just don't know. I can't really blame them for that. But for example, hey, you're going to sign the 16x20, sign it bigger than you sign an 8x10. Hey, this guy bought 5 inscriptions. He paid a lot of money for this. This is probably for his collection. If you can make these inscriptions as legible as possible, there's a kind and a good way to sell the athlete on. Hey, listen, please take care of this item. This is a good customer of me. Or hey, listen, you paid a lot for this. If you can just make sure that it's nice and clean. There's building nice rapport with the athlete is definitely a good way to make sure that they can help execute that for you. But the promoter is the first line of defense. We're the one initially paying for all the autographs, whether it be 500 or 1,000 or however many this guy's signing. And we know what collectors are looking for. We know it's not hard, right? We know they want quality pens. They want easy to read inscriptions, and they like to have legible, large autographs. That's it. That's really that's the extent of it. It's pretty simple. But we need to relay that information to the athlete. The athlete just doesn't know sometimes. However, on the opposite side, you take Pete Rose, for example. Guy's probably done a few thousand autograph signs. He knows where to sign, how big. He knows how to clearly write out the inscriptions. Okay, he doesn't need to be coached anymore. He knows how to do it, right? But we need to coach these young guys up. We definitely need to be telling them exactly what to do. And again, when it comes down to the actual autographs, I'm all about giving the fan some choices with the autographs if the athlete is open to it. For example, if you've got a basic or a premium or a full name autograph, imagine if you were doing a signing with, let's just say Trevor Lawrence was doing an autograph signing, for example. I'm just throwing a random name out there. And he had his basic autograph, okay? Then he had a nice premium autograph. And then he had a full name autograph. And you saw a picture of the exact autograph that you were going to get. You would probably be okay with paying a premium for some of those things. Now, it's probably going to make more work on the dealer's end, okay? But so what? I mean, you're going to make more money. You're going to make a collector a happier collector because they're going to get the type of autograph that they want. And again, this just depends on if the athlete has a different autograph. Sometimes they don't. Sometimes they just got a basic one. But Mike Trout, for example, he's got his basic, real simple autograph, and then he's got an upcharge for a full name autograph where he writes Michael Nelson Trout. That stuff is really cool, and it would allow you as a collector to make kind of unique one-of-one pieces. It would allow the dealer to have upcharges on there that were legitimate upcharges. Like, hey, listen, if you want this style autograph, this is what it's going to cost. And I think people are going to respond well to having more choices. And I think that's what we got to get back to in the autograph industry is more choices, better choices. Don't ban anything, and let's give the collectors what they want. If they've got to pay a premium for it, so what? But at least give the collector the option to say yes or no. And that's what I'd like to see get back to in the autograph industry. So again, hope you guys liked today's episode. Again, don't forget to visit the website, powersportsmemorabilia.com. Also can be followed over there on Instagram at Powers Autographs. And I will see you on the next episode.